welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on the NXT After Stand and Deliver after WrestleMania 41. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed, and follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's dive right into the action, because the opening match was for the women's tag team championships. We had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending their titles against the number one contenders, Tatum, Paxley, and Gigi, Dolan. So this was a pretty good match, I do have to say. I mean, you guys know I love Liv Morgan. She is one of the best of our time, truly, in my opinion. And I thought that her and Raquel worked so well with Tatum and Gigi. I love their style of wrestling, all four of them. And I think they're all very similar. And I think Liv is a very technical wrestler. And I think Tatum is too. And so to see the two of them go together not one-on-one, but when they had their moments in the ring, I thought it was amazing. And I just thought it was such a smooth match, and there were so many cool spots, and I think Liv's moveset is so unique. And I also really like Gigi Dolan's moveset, and I think that all of them again worked so well together. And I can tell that Gigi and Tatum have been working really hard to kind of upgrade their wrestling skills, and it definitely shines through. They've worked so hard and it's paying off. But in the end, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez did retain their titles. And the next segment up was with our new NXT North American champion, Ricky Saints. He talked about how he opened up WrestleMania weekend on Saturday morning at Stand and Deliver with a banger of a match against Ethan Page. He said that he made good on his promise at Stand and Deliver that he is the man around here. But before he could continue even speaking, Alexis King interrupted. And I really thought, okay, Ethan Page is going to come out. We're going to do this whole ordeal. That's not what happened. Alexis King, the NXT Heritage Cup champion, came out, and he said that he understands the weekend Ricky had, but all weekend he has been trying to find his Heritage Cup championship. At that point, it was lost. And Ricky then expressed that his confusion as to why this pertains to him. He's like, I don't know why you came out. I don't know why you're telling me about this. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have anything to do with this. But then Lexus was like, well, it can be. And he challenged him to a champion versus champion title for title match. Winner takes all. I believe it's for next week. But then we led into a match between Alexis King and his mystery opponent, who ended up being the returning Noam Dar from Metaphor. Now, this return was very underwhelming because they made it seem like it was going to be this huge star for main roster or from TNA, and it just wasn't. And so, I was a little disappointed, but I mean, I can't complain too much because overall it was a really good match. And I thought some of the spots that they did were really good. And I thought that Noam Dar has done so well in his career, but I think similar to what I said about Thea Hale last week, I really do think that I can see them putting in the effort, and it's shining through. I mean, I know that for a fact that, I believe he was injured. It takes some time to get healed up and work out again and get in ring ready. But I thought that, he did great for his first match back, and I'm so happy. And all of that hard work seemed to pay off because Noam Dar won the match, and now he is the new NXT Heritage Cup champion. So now, next week, we are going to have Ricky Saints defending his NXT North American Championship against Lexis King in just a standard title match. It's not going to be title for title, obviously, because Noam Dar won. And now Lexis King is no longer a champion, so now he's going to face Ricky Starks for that gold. But the next match was also really good. I mean, it was just like banger after banger at this point. Fallon Henley versus Thea Hale. Now, this was a pretty good match, and I really enjoyed the way that Fallon and Thea worked together. I thought it was really good. And like I said last week, you can definitely tell that Thea, during her time off, worked really hard to perfect her craft in the ring and, really make an identity for herself outside of Chase U. And so I'm really happy for her. I'm really excited to see where this continues to go. And Thea Hale won the match, and I love this push that she's getting. It's such a well-deserved push because, she came into the company at an extremely young age. I think she was 18 or 19, right at, like fresh off of graduating high school. And that's kind of why they put her in Chase U, because it's like a college faction situation. And, she established herself in Chase U, but now that, Chase U is no longer a thing, she needs to figure out who she is. Who is Thea Hale on her own? And I think she's starting to do that, and it's so great to see. Next, we had an Oba Femi segment. And so Oba came out and said that at Stand and Deliver, he crushed Javon and Trick's dreams when he beat them. But he admits that he was wrong about Javon Evans, because he had said that, he is too mature, he's not ready, he's not able to hang with them. But then he said that he was proven wrong during that match. So he gave him his flowers, which I thought was really cool. Look at Oba being nice. But then, of course, it didn't last for long, because when he got to Trick Williams, he said, well, nothing will ever change because I don't like him. And so, of course, say his name and he appears. Not Joe Hendry, but will be in a few seconds. It was Trick Williams. And so he threw a fit about wanting the title back. And he said that the only reason Oba won at Stand and Deliver is because he pinned Javon and not Trick. And then say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry. I say this all the time where I'm always like, say his name and he appears, not blah, blah, blah. Or not Joe Hendry, but blah, blah, blah. And now I can actually say it. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry actually appeared, and I was literally screaming. I jumped out of my seat. So that was kind of the biggest jump scare of life, because I did not expect Joe Hendry to come, especially right at that moment. And so Joe had some words for Trick and Oba, mainly Trick. And he said that Trick has changed since the last time that they tagged last fall. Joe said that he proved what happens when you listen to the fans at WrestleMania. Then Joe clocked Trick and said, quote, "You're not hungry, you're entitled." And then Trick said that Trick said that he believes that Joe doesn't belong in NXT, and he doesn't belong to, he doesn't belong in NXT because he can't hang with the top dogs there like Trick and Oba. Then Trick tried to shame Joe for not winning at WrestleMania. But then Joe came right back ready with cannons. He said, quote, "I may have lost to the RKO, but at least I did it in front of 60,000 people at WrestleMania while you were sitting in the stands." Oh my God. What a comeback. And then Joe made it crystal clear that now he has some business with Oba Femi. So I'm very intrigued to see how that goes. And then Oba was like, well, you should have made the same mistake that Moose made, but Joe Hendry didn't care, and then they all started brawling, and that was pretty much that. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens moving forward with Joe Hendry. Are we going to see him a little more often now on NXT? Very intrigued to see where that goes. But next, we got to talk about this extremely fun tag team match we had. We had Javon Evans and Miles Bourne from the No Quarter Catch crew teaming up against Dark State. Now, this was a fantastic match, and you guys know I'm a huge Dark State fan since day one-ish, literally. And, I mean, it's so fun to watch Dark State, and getting to see more of their in-ring work week after week is truly just such a treat. And on the other hand, though, I do have to say that the young OG and Miles Bourne, they have been improving so much match to match. And I cannot wait for the day Javon Evans goes to the main roster. There are so many fun matchups that I want to see him in. I want to see Javon versus Penta. I want to see Javon versus Dom Mysterio. I want to see Javon versus Finn Balor. You know what I mean? There's so many fun, high fly matchups you can make that I think would be so much fun, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And, stuff like this was just a testament to how good they are in the ring. But, of course, Dark State won, and I love their booking so far because right now they are undefeated, and that is so important when you're trying to build up a faction to be so dominant and such a big deal. So I really love that they won this match, but they did it in a way that still made Javon and Miles still seem very strong. Next, we actually had two video, they were separated throughout the show, but I guess we could talk about them now. Two video packages or two videos about the D'Angelo family. The first one was Stack's meeting with Luca Crucifino, and Luca was like, okay, why did you bring me here? They were basically in some sort of field, desert, weird area, I don't know, but we didn't get much context as to why Stacks brought him there. And then the second one was Tony D'Angelo reassuring Adriana Rizzo that, they cannot for whatever reason ever go back to tagging with Stacks, and they need to rescue Luca Crucifino because apparently, I don't know if like Stacks kidnapped him or something. I don't know. They were like low-key kind of vague video packages, but I guess we'll find out more next week. And then we got to talk about the main event for the NXT Women's Championship. Stephanie Vaquer defending against Roxanne Perez. Now, this was a really good match, okay? And even though you guys know I'm Roxanne's number one hater, I actually thought she did good for once last night against Stephanie. Now, obviously, Stephanie ate down during this match with her unique moveset that really lets her put on a show. And, when you put on a show, you got to win the show. And so in the end, Stephanie Vaquer retained her NXT Women's Championship. And then Julia's music hits, and they go off the air with the closing shot of Stephanie in the ring, Roxanne laid out on the ground. Stephanie is raising her title high, and Julia is at the ramp just staring at her. Jordynne Grace is in the stands, and they're all kind of just having an intense stare off. And now I'm like, okay, where are we going from here? Because I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. I'm very, very interested. But into my overall thoughts, I thought it was a very solid NXT after Stand and Deliver, after WrestleMania. And also, I thought it'd be a fun time to let you guys know a little exciting announcement. Not really, but a little one. I'm going to NXT next week. I'm so excited. I don't get to go to NXT that often because I'm usually busy on a Tuesday night. But next week, I will not be. And I didn't go this past week because obviously they were still in Vegas. But next week, I will be back at the PC. There's a possibility I'm still going to go the next 2 weeks after if I'm not busy. But we shall see. So I'm very excited to be able to bring you content live from the PC and from NXT. So follow me on Instagram and TikTok to keep up with that. I'll still do my podcast, but obviously got to bring to you that really fun content. My match of the night, surprisingly, was Javon Evans and Miles Bourne versus Dark State. I mean, come on. You really think I was going to pick anything else? You guys know how much I love Dark State. Such a fun and entertaining match. And then there wasn't really many segments tonight, but I think if I had to pick anything, it would probably be the D'Angelo family videos that we got. I thought that they were so important to show during this point in the storyline. I thought it was very pivotal, and I'm very anxious to see where we go from here. Overall, I'd rate the show about an 8 out of 10, I think. But I'm looking forward to next week. I think we have a lot of great matches lined up for next week, and I truly cannot wait to see what it all brings. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed, and follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!